story of Aftab and Shraddha. This has been our top story over the last few weeks. We're bringing you more details in the Shraddha Walkar Aftab Poonawalla case. Remember, this is the case in which Aftab Poonawalla has confessed to killing his live-in partner and then cutting her body into multiple pieces and distributing them in a forest. Now, I want to very quickly go to the visuals that you can see on your screens right now. These are visuals from the Mehrauli Police station, or right outside it rather. Aftab is being taken, reports believe, again we can't confirm this, but finally for his polygraph test. Remember, both a narco test and a polygraph test are supposed to take place before his remand ends on Saturday. A polygraph test is commonly called a lie detector test. It's one in which various indicators of the individual are measured while questions are asked. So, for example, his breathing rate, his heart rate will be monitored while he'll be asked questions about this alleged murder. That is what a polygraph test is. The other test is a narco test. Again, it's a test in which something that is likened to truth serum is given to the person against who the charges stand. In that case, he is then asked questions. Neither of these two tests are admissible in court as proof. It's very important to note that. All right, now my colleague Anvit is with us to bring us more details on this entire story. Anvit, coming over to you right now, are we able to confirm that he is headed for his polygraph test right now?
See, today he has been taken out of Mehrauli Police station where he had been kept through all his police remand. But there's no official word from police as yet that whether they are taking him for polygraph or to some other scene of crime, or maybe, for some questioning. But yes, certainly, because polygraph test is due today and is pending today. All the preparations had been done yesterday. Yesterday, we also had a word with senior officials in the FSL Rohini, and they told us that all the preparations of polygraph was done yesterday itself. They had made this communication to the police as well, but there was no intimation from police till late evening that whether or not they'll be bringing Aftab. Later on, we came to know that Aftab wasn't keeping well, and therefore that was the reason that he could not be brought for polygraph test. And today is the day when polygraph is expected, because after today, police will only have 2 days left, and they need to conduct the narco test as well. Even though immediately after polygraph, also narco can be conducted, and like you mentioned, that a person is administered with truth serum, the scientific name of which is sodium pentothal. He will be administered with it, and once he enters a subconscious state, hypnotic state, then he will be questioned, and a line of questioning has been prepared. The police have already given these FSL experts a questionnaire around which he'll be questioned. And see, as far as polygraph test is concerned, a person is attached with 2 clippers and electrodes basically, and then he's questioned on certain areas. So in this particular case, we are believing that he'll be questioned around the body parts which he is claiming to have disposed of, which police have not been able to find so far, and also the murder of weapon. What was used and how did the sequence of incident take place. Whatever confessions he had made, he'll be questioned on those lines to find out how does the monitor and how does the equipment that will be attached to him reacts. And the tests are immediate. At the spot, police and FSL experts will come to know whether he is lying or whatever the equipments are indicating. Based on those indications, he'll further be questioned and sub-questions will be formed. So this is a 2 to 3 hours of process, and it might take longer if it turns out that he's maybe not cooperating, or maybe in case when police seems that they're getting very good results, it may also extend up to 4 to 5 hours depending upon what results do they get. But see, today we are expecting polygraph because, like earlier said, just 2 days are left and narco is also to be completed. Even though the FSL experts had been telling us that narco can be completed immediately after polygraph also, or it is likely that it will be tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Anvit, I do want to ask you more questions over here. Obviously, yesterday we were told by police that he was possibly sick, which is why it was impossible to administer the polygraph test then. Obviously, if he's being taken out now, it would perhaps be an indicator that he may be feeling better. But I just want to understand from you, when it comes to that timeline that we have, that Saturday limit, what could possibly take place after that? Because Saturday will mean the end of his 14 days of remand. So what takes place next?
See, in some rare cases, the police requests court to extend remand. We have seen it is also extended, but most likely he will be sent to JC, maybe judicial custody, because it is also a belief notion that in police, a criminal is tortured and he's just to get the truth out of him. Lawyer has been saying that if the police remand goes for long, my client can be tortured or can be, beaten up in the police custody. So these are apprehensions amidst which his lawyer, who we have spoken to earlier also, he will be objecting to the extension of remand. But only in the rarest cases we have seen that court agrees to extend remand by a day or two. But most likely he'll be sent to JC, and then that is why police only has got 14 days to probe this case and to get as many evidences as they can. And out of those 14 days, only 3 days are left counting today. And today, as we believe, will go in conducting polygraph, and tomorrow maybe narco. So I think either the police has all the evidences that they could have gotten from him, or they are believing that narco and polygraph are the only way left now.
Okay. All right. And Anvit, just to ask you a few more questions over here, I now want to very quickly shift focus to the letter that came out yesterday. We talked in detail about some of the claims that were made in that letter. I'm talking, of course, just to remind our audiences about Shraddha's letter, one that she'd written in 2020, in which she wrote that she was being abused, that her life had been threatened by Aftab. She'd also said she was afraid to go to police. Yesterday, it seemed as if, Anvit, police experts that we spoke to were divided on whether or not the police should have taken more action. We saw the Deputy Chief Minister come out and say an investigation would happen on why action wasn't taken. But can you bring us more context on that, please?
See, as far as this complaint is concerned, we are also being told that Shraddha had withdrawn this complaint. Suo motu action can be taken by police, like we also mentioned, mostly in heinous cases and mostly in non-cognizable cases. This could have been a non-cognizable report, and therefore police did not take suo motu action, and therefore when she withdrew her complaint, now we also need to know that what was the letter in which she had given to police to withdraw that complaint. It must have been a written letter that she would have requested that I withdraw my complaint earlier given. A copy of complaint would also be attached to it, that this is the complaint that I am withdrawing. If she had mentioned in that complaint that I am withdrawing this complaint and I do not want any action initiated, and I wrote this in a mood of rage or in the heat of the moment, then police usually do not take action. Also, if that could have been the case that police takes action, they could have at maximum charged Aftab with assault cases or threatening for life, which would have been not very tough for him to get out of as far as the legal area. So, given that she has given a complaint and withdrawn it, it is well understood that why police did not take any action. But now that she has met such a fate, we are arguing that police should have gone ahead and taken an action. But when a woman withdraws complaint, or in any case when a complaint is withdrawn, police usually don't go unless and until they have anticipated a big threat to that person. In this case, however, it has turned out to be that whatever she had anticipated, exactly that, the same thing happened to her 2 years down the line, which is also surprising. So this letter certainly will also, change the line of questioning that the police had taken so far. Police obviously had this letter much before it got to the media, and they have been questioning Aftab's parents also related to this letter. They have tried to find out that if the withdrawal of complaint was a result of Aftab's parents maybe pressurizing Shraddha, or maybe asking her to withdraw this letter because they were anticipating that their son will be in trouble if the police takes the complaint and transfers it into a FIR and starts probing the case. So that can also be the case, because since the beginning, police have been trying to find out if this was entirely, it was a conspiracy and it was a planned murder instead of a fit of rage thing. So this letter certainly has altered the line of questioning also, and police are accordingly probing the case now.
Okay, all right. Anvit, thank you for bringing us those details. We are going to head into a short break. On the other side of this break, we're going to bring you right back here on the show with more of the country's top stories. We'll see you in just a few minutes. You're watching the Breaking News Show.